As tennis fans, the moment we think of a Swedish tennis player who won multiple majors at a very young age, the first name that pops up in our minds is Bjorn Borg. But Mats Wilander was also Swedish and he also achieved significant success at a very young age. For Mats Wilander, the comparisons to Bjorn Borg were inevitable because both were from Sweden. Both were punishing baseliners who hit heavy topspin, though Mats Wilander used a one-handed slice backhand as much, if not more, than he rolled his two-handed backhand like Bjorn Borg. Both were stoic under pressure and never let their emotions show on court. Both were prepared to smash back as many balls as it took to win, their inner resolve eerily similar. Both were multiple major singles champions. Both shined at the French Open. Bjorn Borg won 6 titles at the French Open. Mats Wilander won 3. Both did not delve into doubles much, Borg winning only 4 career titles, Wilander just 7. Both heralded an era of resurgence for Swedish tennis, winning 4 combined Davis Cup championships, Bjorn Borg in 1975 and Mats Wilander in 1984, 1985 and 1987. Then the similarities and comparisons had a historically significant diversion. Bjorn Borg never won the United States Open or 3 major titles in a single calendar year. In 1988, Mats Wilander became the first Swede in history to win at Flushing Meadows, that is the United States Open, following championships at the Australian Open and French Open. Mats Wilander did not have a tennis racket placed into his tiny hands as a youth like so many tennis stars did. In Sweden, kids played ice hockey and soccer, and Mats Wilander was no different. Wilander's father, Einar, started playing tennis himself in the 1940s. The day after watching the Davis Cup on television, he turned the parking lot at the local factory into a tennis court, which was his son's introduction to the game. Mats Wilander found junior tennis tournaments enjoyable, and when he turned 13, the family moved from Vaxio, separating him from his ice hockey and soccer teams. Mats Wilander told Sun Valley magazine, "I was pretty shy and could not imagine joining another team at that point in my life, so I just focused more on the tennis." That focus was intense as Mats Wilander won the Junior French Open title, the European Under-16 and Under-18 tournaments and the prestigious Orange Bowl Under-16 tournament in Miami. He made the professional leap as a 16-year-old in 1980, playing in the Swedish Open. 2 years later, Mats Wilander was playing in the 1982 French Open finals and en route to winning 7 major singles championships in a compact 6-year span, 5 of which came by the age of 20. Mats Wilander advanced to 11 major singles finals, winning 7. 3 of these wins came against his rival Ivan Lendl. The pair squared off in 5 of the 11 trips the Swede made to championship matches. Lendl earned victories at the 1987 French Open and 1987 US Opens, respectively. In 1982, no one at Roland Garros saw Mats Wilander as a threat to win the championship. Though he was the 18th ranked player in the world, he was not worthy of a seeding. The championship trophy was supposed to be hoisted by either number 1 seed Jimmy Connors or number 2 seed Ivan Lendl, but in the 4th round, Mats Wilander upset Ivan Lendl in 5 grueling sets, 4-6, 7-5, 3-6, 6-4, 6-2. He then toppled number 5 seed Vitas Gerulaitis in the quarterfinals 6-3, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 and reached the final with a 7-5, 6-2, 1-6, 7-5 victory over number 4th seed Argentine Jose Luis Clerc. Another Argentine number 3 seed Guillermo Villa awaited Wilander in the final. In a 4-hour and 42-minute marathon match of wits, 1 point alone lasting 90 shots, Wilander outstroked the clay court specialist Guillermo Villa 1-6, 7-6, 6-love, 6-4. At the time, the victory made the 17-year and 9-month-old Mats Wilander the youngest male French Open and major singles champion in history, a mark since surpassed by other tennis players like Boris Becker and Michael Chang. With a title in his first major final, Mats Wilander earned that accomplishment faster than anyone in history, only equalled by Gustavo Kuerten at the 1997 French Open. Mats Wilander's run on the clay in Paris included championships as the number 4 seed in 1985 over defending champion Ivan Lendl, and in 1988 as the number 3 seed in a 7-5, 6-2, 6-1 victory over Frenchman Henri Leconte. From 1983 to 1985, Mats Wilander made 3 consecutive trips to the Australian Open finals. When he defeated Lendl routinely in the finals 6-1, 6-4, 6-4, he became the second youngest Australian Open champion at that time behind Ken Rosewall. That championship included a nifty 6-4, 3-6, 6-4, 6-3 victory over number 2 seed John McEnroe in the semi-finals. The 1984 title was earned over South African Kevin Curran 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 6-2, but in 1985 his streak was halted by compatriot Stefan Edberg, who defeated him 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. In 1988, Pat Cash gave Mats Wilander his most difficult test in a Melbourne final, pushing the Swede to 5 sets in the Aussie heat, but ultimately falling 6-3, 6-7, 3-6, 6-1, 8-6, giving Mats Wilander his 3rd title in Melbourne. In 1988, Mats Wilander enjoyed his finest year on tour. He won the Australian Open and French Open and added the US Open title in his 2nd straight trip to the final. Back to seek revenge against Ivan Lendl, Wilander slugged it out with the Czech, who beat him the year before in a 5-setter that saw the Swede win his 3rd major of the season 6-4, 4-6, 6-3, 5-7, 6-4. With the win, he closed out the year as the number 1 ranked player in the world after 3 previous years finishing as the world number 3. With victories on 3 different surfaces, at that time the Australian Open was played on grass, Wilander equalled Jimmy Connors as the only player in history with that distinction. Wimbledon's grass was Wilander's Achilles heel, as he never advanced past the quarterfinals. Mats Wilander's run toward a calendar year Grand Slam in 1988 was thwarted by Miloslav Mečer at Wimbledon 6-3, 6-1, 6-3. Mats Wilander won an 8th major title at Wimbledon, capturing the 1986 Gentlemen Doubles Championship alongside compatriot Joachim Nystrom over Swede Gary Donnelly and American Peter Fleming 7-6, 6-3, 6-3. In his 15-year-long career, Mats Wilander won 33 singles titles in 220 tournaments and compiled a 571 wins to 222 defeats record. He was a member of Sweden's Davis Cup team from 1981 to 1990, reaching 7 straight finals and winning 3 Davis Cups in 1984, 1985 and 1987. The most impressive coming in 1984 when he defeated Jimmy Connors 6-1, 6-3, 6-3 and leading Sweden to a 4-1 win over the United States of America.